So you're on Instagram and you see Scotty Scheffler, maybe Rory McIlroy doing a trap bar deadlift in their workouts. And then you come to YouTube to find out how to do a trap bar deadlift. But nobody really tells you why these pros are doing trap bar deadlifts. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over how to do a trap bar deadlift, why the pros are doing trap bar deadlifts, and why you might not necessarily need to be doing a trap bar deadlift. So stick around to find out. So deadlift is considered the king of all exercises. The reason it has that title is because it works almost every single muscle in your body, from quads, glutes, hamstrings, core control, your lats to stabilize the bar close to your power line, pretty much your entire posterior chain. It's a big compound lift, meaning using multiple joints in your body, and it's a full body exercise. Anybody that tells you otherwise doesn't know what they're doing. But there's a lot of different variations of deadlifts that you can do. One that golfers tend to gravitate towards is the trap bar deadlift. Now, there's a bunch of reasons why pro golfers specifically use the trap bar deadlift. The main reason being is barrier of entry. With the barbell deadlift, it requires a little bit more form, it requires a little bit more technique, and it requires practice of this movement long term to not only do it safely, but to reap the benefits of the movement. Whereas the trap bar deadlift, a little bit less barrier for entry, meaning I can step in the middle of this trap bar, grab the bar, and as long as I have a locked in spine, I can lift this weight a little bit easier and with less form and technique cues and corrections than the barbell deadlift. Another reason that golfers tend to gravitate towards the trap bar deadlift is the specificity of the movement. So with this barbell deadlift, my hips have to be a little bit higher than the trap bar deadlift. This isn't as golf specific as a trap bar would be. Whereas if I get into this trap bar, I can manipulate my hips a little bit more to resemble the golf swing rather than the barbell deadlift. But the main reason that collegiate and pro golfers are using the trap bar deadlifts is reduction of injury. These guys have a very long season. They're playing multiple days of golf every single week at a high competitive level, and they need to do movements that will minimize injury, but still allow them to train hard and maintain performance throughout the year. So the trap bar deadlift, once you're inside of this trap bar, the weight is evenly balanced around you. So the only forces at play are working up and down rather than forwards and backwards like something a conventional deadlift would do. Now, golf is just like any other sport. You should have an in season and you should have an off season, and the training should be different in season and off season. Off season, I would recommend golfers doing barbell deadlifts because it's a great movement for overall strength and hypertrophy, body control, power. However, I wouldn't program a barbell deadlift for in-season golfers. I would have them do trap bar deadlifts just because it's a little bit safer, less margin for error, and there's less forces to control other than the one we're trying to target. So now that we know why pro golfers are doing the trap bar deadlift, now we're gonna move into the how. The how is pretty simple. You're gonna get into the trap bar. If this is your first time doing the movement, I would go super lightweight. The most important part is your stance. You want your feet to be about 1 foot apart. That way I can get full range of motion in my hips and I can control the valgus of my knees. I don't want too much valgus when I'm doing this lift. The next most important part is my spine. If you've done any other lift like a squat, a bench, you can't really force yourself to do more weight than you're capable of doing. However, with a deadlift, you can lift more weight than what you're capable of by rounding the spine. But that's also how injuries occur. Deadlift is just like any other exercise. If you do the lift with good form, your chances of injury are next to none. The one way to minimize injuries in the deadlift is to keep that spine locked in. So it kind of looks like this. Flat back, hips push back towards the wall, knees are slightly bent, and then I can bend my knees up and down and keep that back locked in. If I'm in the trap bar, once I get my feet 1 foot apart, I'm going to lock the back in and I'm going to grab the bar. Notice how my knees are straight, feet are still 1 foot apart. One tip that I like to give my athletes is to squeeze the armpits. Notice how when I squeeze the armpits, it pushed my chest forward and my hips back. Once I'm in this position and I'm set, push my feet through the floor, lift the bar up, and then I stand up all the way. And I want to reverse that motion on the way down. So knees slightly bent, hips go back to the wall, keeping the armpits squeezed, and then I start bending the knees, and then I end up in the exact same position that I started in. But whether you are doing a conventional barbell deadlift or a trap bar deadlift, it's really important that you get some type of deadlift variation in your workout program, because this movement closely resembles the rapid hip extension in the golf swing. My hips start out loaded in the hinged position. Even though I'm twisting around, I have to use ground forces to rotate and push off the ground and extend my hips through the golf swing. So if I can do a powerful and strong deadlift, I'm going to have a strong and powerful golf swing. All right, guys, that is it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this type of content, me diagnosing golf training tips and techniques, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you have any other movements that you'd like me to break down and kind of go over the steps and the processes for, leave a comment down in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.